Streaming is everywhere. In fact, in 2019, over 60% of households in America were subscribed to a streaming service. However, even though streaming services are that popular, not many people know what happens when you click play on your favorite movie. Hi, my name is Shreyas Kambhampati, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you how streaming services work. So, let's get into it. So before we get into how streaming services work, I want to go over a few examples. So on-demand content or live content, that would include services such as Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, and others. There's also music streaming services, which would include stuff like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, and I guess if you want Tidal, that would be an example of a music streaming service. There's also game streaming services as of recently, and that would include services such as Google Stadia, Amazon Luna, and Nvidia GeForce Now. So first of all, what is streaming? Well, streaming is a continuous transmission of audio or video from any sort of a server to a client. And if you have no idea what I just said, don't worry about it. The details can get a bit dicey. But here's a more simpler explanation. Streaming allows for the streamlined delivery of any sort of audio or video media from a server to a client, the client being you. So streaming is what happens when you listen to a podcast or watch a movie on a streaming service. So how does streaming work? Just like other types of data that is sent throughout the internet, audio and video data are broken down into data packets. Each packet contains a small piece of the file, and an audio or video player in the client's device takes the flow of data packets and translates them into an audio or video. Right now what you're looking at on your screen is a simple diagram that I made to help you visualize this next part. And I'm going to be talking about the Netflix architecture. So the first step, a content request is made by the subscriber. The process starts with you clicking play on a title. The request is sent out to the internet via the ISP of the subscriber. Number 2. Resolvers pass the request to the Netflix domain's authoritative server. This means that a DNS lookup is started upon the HTTP request from the client's device. Number 3. Requested content is brought from an index stored on a database. The server manages the request using a microservice. One service will handle the request and pass it on to another service. Once the result is returned, another service will process it to claim the content. Number 4. Content is released from a storage location. The internet doesn't have a constant data speed. Different countries have varying network speeds, so the content has to use ABR, which is standard in most OTT networks for better compatibility with slower networks around the world. Netflix uses AWS's S3 storage as part of its infrastructure for storage and uses EC2 for transcoding and scaling. They just cache the most demanded content for much quicker performance. Number 5. Edge locations determine where to route the request to optimize content delivery. Earlier I mentioned how Netflix handles different regions. This is for content delivery. They make sure you won't connect halfway around the world even though there's a closer server. Once again, accelerated servers are used to give the content. They release this with their OpenConnect Edge server along with CDN, or the Content Delivery Network. Number 6. The last part. The content is streamed to the subscriber. For the best user experience, Netflix has to be certain of compatibility for supported devices. Netflix has to be able to stream video on all devices they support. This is done to improve the bitrate traffic. This reduces the need for more buffering. The simple gist here is to be able to stream full HD or 1080p to devices that support it, while adjusting to a lower resolution on non-HD devices. So yeah, that's how the Netflix architecture works. And that's how streaming services work. Who would have ever thought something as simple as clicking play on your favorite Netflix title would have been so complex? I hope you learned something from this video, and if you liked it, please make sure to click the like button. And if you want to support the channel, make sure to subscribe. And with that, I'm Shreyas Kambhampati, and peace.